49 years ago today, a plane crashed on Fort Drum, killing its pilot, who was flying for the Air National Guard. Tonight, the story of that pilot's son, who recently wrapped up a decades-long search for answers about his father's death. October 1974. 7-year-old Bill Havener Jr. and younger brother Tim are playing outside their home in Chittenango.
I remember a gray sedan pulled into our driveway. Servicemen came out and came up to the front door. That as a military in a military family, you know that your family member is gone. You just know that.
Air Force Captain Bill Havener had flown 230 combat missions in Vietnam without ever being injured. Now he was dead after his plane crashed during an Air National Guard training mission over Fort Drum. As the family mourned, they looked for answers. Initial reports from the military didn't say much.
There's all kinds of speculation. Was it a bird strike? Was it engine failure that caused the accident?
After years of trying to get Air Force records about the crash, some results finally arrived.
Father was a group of 4 aircraft. They were doing basically target practice with practice bombs, rockets, and then they were going to do a strafing run with a machine gun.
As Havener dropped his bomb on range 35 and banked sharply upward, the canopy came off his plane. Within seconds, the A-37 jet rolled over and crashed. Somehow the canopy lock had been released.
The report kind of speculated that my father had brushed up against it with either his elbow or the sleeve on his left arm.
USAF accident incident report.
Wanting more answers, Bill asked for fewer redactions, appealed the denial, and years later finally got more, including the flight surgeon's report, which revealed his father's cause of death.
As the plane was going through the forested area and then impacted the ground, the jet fuel exploded in it. So there was massive injuries. Let's just say that we didn't get all the remains back to even get cremated. There are still portions of my father that are at that gunnery range. And that's a hard reality. That was really hard to deal with.
And that made Bill determined to visit Range 35, which he did this past July with his brother and a military escort. In September, 7 News also made the trek. This bridge is as close as anyone can get to the scene of the crash for obvious reasons. James Moore is Fort Drum's director of training.
It happened about 300 meters off in this direction in the impact area. The Air Force did do a very good detailed list of everything that was removed from the site. However, it doesn't specify if anything was left on the site.
For the Havener's visit, Fort Drum provided a chaplain who read the 1941 war poem, High Flight.
I also brought blessed water from my priest that I poured over the bridge, towards the area where the accident was.
Do you think your father may have been watching?
Yes. I think my father has been watching all of us all along.
Finally, after nearly 50 years, the Havener family has closure, and Bill's work means his dad's sacrifice won't be forgotten. There will be new recognition of what happened about 1,000 meters that way. This historical marker is going up on Range 35. It has a QR code that will take you to a description of the incident.
I think my father would have really liked that they recognized his service with 174th and just recognized the accident and his service with the Air National Guard.
Now, Bill has a long list of those he thanks for the successful conclusion to his odyssey, especially Fort Drum for arranging his visit to the site, and many, many others who helped get those Air Force records. You can see that list on our website version of this story at WWNYTV.com.